Good day, guys. Welcome to the session. Today we are going to deal with sequences and series. Okay, specifically to deal with arithmetic sequence. All right. Now we are given an example of an arithmetic sequence here. So before I get into the questions, let us understand first what is an arithmetic sequence. Now, if I have the numbers as follows: 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So obviously it's not the same number everywhere, but what do you notice? So what you can notice is that if you can take the difference between the two numbers, if you take term 2, you subtract term 1, the difference will be 2. If you can take term 3, you subtract term 2, the difference will be 2. If you take term 4, you subtract term 3, the difference will be 2. If you take term 5, you subtract term 4, the difference will be 2. So they have a common difference. Now, when we go to an arithmetic sequence, the difference between the terms must be the same throughout. And this difference will be denoted by the letter D. Okay? Where do we take the letter D? We take the letter D from this equation. Tn, which means the nth term. So it can be any number in the sequence, any term in the sequence. Okay? So Tn is equals to, then we have A plus n minus 1 multiplied by D. So this D is the same as that D over there, which is the difference. Then n, it is the nth term, which means the position of that number in the sequence. For example, number 5 here is the third term. Why? Because 5, it is at position number 3 in the sequence. Then A is the first term. A is the first term. So in the number sequence, every number that is there symbolizes the value of A. Okay? Now Tn is the value, in this case is the number 5, is the nth term. So this will be that. Then third, number 3 here for the third term will be n, 1 will be A, D will be this difference, which is 2. Okay? Now let us speak in the language of the arithmetic sequence that we are given on the board. Okay? Now on the board you are given 2x, you are given 2x plus 1. This is one term, guys. Okay, this is one term, which is the first term. You are also given x minus 3, which is the second term. You are given 3x minus 4, which is the third term. So now question 1.1, determine the value of x and then write down the values of the first 3 terms. Okay, what do we know is that if we take the difference of the terms, like for example, if you take T3 minus T2, it must be the same as T2 minus T1. Okay, now let us put it in practical terms. T3 is 3x, so 3x minus 4 minus T2, we put it in brackets, x minus 3, which is equals to, now T2, which is x minus 3 minus, we put it in brackets, 2x plus 1. Okay, don't forget guys, every time there is a negative before a number, put it inside the bracket so that it doesn't mislead you or doesn't contradict you. Okay, now let us open the brackets here. If we follow the negative sign, x will be negative and 3 will be positive. So we'll end up with 3x minus x. I'm already grouping the like terms. Then we have this minus 4. Then negative times negative will be positive 3, which is equals to x minus 3 negative multiplied by that. Okay, so I want to group the like terms already. So it's going to give us minus 2x. Okay, then that minus 3, then negative plus 1 will be negative 1. Now let us simplify the like terms. On the left hand side we have 2x, then we have minus 1, which is equals to minus x minus 4. So taking all the x's to the left hand side and all the numbers to the right hand side, we are going to be left with 3x is equals to, now 1 when it goes to the right hand side is going to be positive, minus 3. You divide by 3, you divide by 3, then this will cancel. You will realize that x will equals to negative 1. Okay, now if we put x as negative 1, what will be the numbers if here we put negative 1 in the place of x, also here we put negative 1 in the place of x, even here we put negative 1 in the place of x. So we are going to have 2 multiplied by negative 1, which is minus 2 plus 1, then we have negative 1 as the first term. Now here we have a negative 1, negative 3, it will give us negative 4 as the second term. Then on the third term we have 3 times negative 1, which is negative 3 minus 4. It's going to be negative 7. So we have answered the two questions of 1.1. Firstly, you determine the value of x, and then secondly you determine the first 3 terms, which is this one and the value of x there. Okay, now question 1.2, determine the nth term of the sequence. Okay, so now we have the sequence as follows, as you see on the board. Now we can determine the nth term. So how do we go about it? Firstly, you check the difference. So the difference between the terms is minus 3, okay, which is D, and the first term, which is A, is equals to minus 1. So the nth term, meaning they are looking for a general formula of Tn, which is equals to A minus 1 plus into n minus 1 multiplied by negative 3. So if you leave it like this, it's going to confuse you. Since it has a negative sign, let us put it in brackets. Do you leave it like this? No, you need to foil it inside, okay, like this. So Tn, now it is going to be minus 1 minus 3n plus 3, which is equals to minus 3n plus 2. Now this is a formula to determine any term of the sequence, the nth term. Okay, now question 1.3. The sum of the first n terms of the sequence is minus 176. Find n. What a nice question. Find n. So when they say find n, they want you to determine how many terms in this series or sequence is going to give you the number negative 176. So in this case, we need a specific formula to determine the sum of nth term. Now the formula that we are going to need for the sum of nth term will be Sn. So the sum of n terms, which is equals to n divided by 2, this is an equal sign, so into 2a, remember a is the first term, plus n minus 1 multiplied by d. Okay. Now what do? We substitute. Okay, so now Sn, we have the value of the sum of the nth term, which is minus 176, which is equals to n, we don't know how many terms, we are looking for that, over 2 into 2 into minus 1, then we add n, we don't know it, minus 1 multiplied by d. So d is the difference. So since it has a negative sign, we are going to put brackets. We are going to put it inside brackets. Now let us try to simplify what you see on the board. We have negative 176, which is equals to n over 2 into 2 times that, it's minus 2. So now we foil, we are going to have a negative 3n, then we foil again, it's going to be positive 3. So if we simplify, minus 2 plus 3 will give us positive 1. Okay, before everything else, I'm going to multiply by 2 to remove this one. Okay, remember guys, it's not nice to deal with fractions. Okay, so now if I open everything up before I divide everything by 2, we are going to have negative 176, which is equals to n times negative 3n will be negative 3n squared over 2. Well, that one will be 1, so it's going to be itself plus n over 2. Okay, now that is when I said you must eliminate the fraction. You multiply by 2. So as I multiply by 2, can you see n squared is negative? I'm going to move everything else to the left hand side. Okay, so now it's going to be negative 352 which is equals to minus 3n squared plus n. So the promise that I made to move everything to the other side, now you have positive 3n squared minus n minus 352 equals to 0. Okay. Now, this is where we are, right? In this case, you are going to use what we call a quadratic formula, okay? Okay, so the formula that we are going to use is m is equals to minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus ac over 2a, where n squared is the coefficient of n squared is a, the coefficient of n is b, and then this constant is c, together with the negative sign. Okay, now after putting everything together, you'll realize that you get two values. You'll get m, which is equals to minus 11, or n is equals to negative 32 over 3. Okay, but here we are dealing with sequences and series. There is no way you are going to get a negative sequence, a negative position in a sequence. So this one is not applicable, only this value is correct. Okay guys, so yeah, and that will be that. Now look at the following questions, question 2 and question 3. So I would advise you guys to pause the video, attempt the questions by yourself, and wait for me to answer the questions for you. Okay, no problem. Let me clear the screen and answer them. Okay, looking at question 2, you have 12 and 10 and a half, which they are telling you specifically that they are the first two terms of an arithmetic sequence. So they are telling you that it's an arithmetic sequence. Okay, so since they are telling you that it's an arithmetic sequence, enough information is given to you. Now determine the 21st term of the sequence. Okay, so basically we are looking for T21, right? So before you can get a T21, you must get a before you get a T21, you must know the value of A. So the value of A is the first term, which is 12 plus into n. Do we know n? Yes, we know n. N is 21 because you are looking for the 21st term, minus 1 into what is the difference. Now the difference is you put on a calculator 10 and a half, you subtract 12. I believe it should be 1 and a half. Okay, so you must put your 1 and a half there. Then you must be able to get that. So here 21 minus 1 will be 20. So 20 times 1.5 is 30. So we have 12 plus 30, which will give us 42. Okay, now which term of the sequence will equal to 51. So now we have the value of Tn. So we put here minus 51 must equal to, remember the first term is 12. Okay. Then okay guys, I think I made a mistake. Forgive me. I think the difference must be a negative value. I think if we put this as a negative, here we'll be having a negative 30. Negative 30. Negative 30, and this won't be 42, but it will be negative 18. Sorry about that, it's a big mistake, but at least we managed to see it on time. Okay, now yes, 12 is the first term, plus, because we want to know the position of number 51 in the sequence, so we don't know n, minus 1 into minus 1,5. You can write it as 3/2, right guys? Yes. So if we were to simplify this, I'm just going to take this to the other side. So it's going to be minus 63 yeah, it's going to be minus 63. Then we will have negative 1,5 n plus 1,5. Right? So when 1,5 goes to the other side, it's going to be negative, so it's going to be minus 64,5, which is equals to minus 1,5 n. So obviously divide by negative 1,5, divide by negative 1,5. Now the value of n will give us a positive value. It will be 42. Okay guys, now question 3. So remember guys, don't forget to pause the video. Don't forget to pause the video and attempt the questions by yourself. Then unpause it to see how I solve it. Okay. Now on question 3, the nth term of an arithmetic sequence is given by 4 plus Tn. So basically the formula is in this term. Tn is equals to 4 plus 5n. So that is what they gave us. Okay, now determine the first term. So for you to determine the first term, what you need to do is to see 4 into 5 and 1. Okay, which will give us 9. So T1 will equals to 9. So notice where I've replaced n with 1, I've changed from n to 1. Okay, now determine the common difference. So since they want a common difference, we need to check for the second term, right? So T2 will equals to 4 plus 5 into 2, so which will give us 14. Now the difference between 14 and 9 is positive 5, so this will equal to the common difference, which is D. Positive 5, I mean, it's going to be positive 5. Now, which term of the sequence is equals to 104? So you will see 104 as the term of the sequence. So 104 as the term in the sequence will equals to what? Now you must use all the information you have gotten there. So will equals to the first term, which is 9, then plus n, because you don't know the position of 104, minus 1, and the common difference. So first thing first, I'm going to bring that into the other side. Then we'll have a 95, which is equals to n minus 1 into 5. So I'll just divide by 5. Divide by 5. So I think here I'm gonna get 19 is equals to n minus 1. Okay, then we take it to that side. So 20 will equals to n. Yes, 20 will be equals to n. So now the sum of the first 12 terms in the series, they want us to determine the sum of the first 12 terms. So what do? You bring that formula back of the Sn. So in this case, they told you the number of terms that you need in the sequence. Let's see. So since that is given to us, S12 is equals to 12 over 2 into 2 into A. So A is the first term. We determined that the first term was 9. So into 9. Okay, then plus n, which is 12. Alright, plus 12 minus 1 multiplied by the difference. So the difference in this case was 5. Okay, then you press everything on your calculator. So I'll do it manually. So here we have 6, we have 18, 11 times 5, it's plus 55. So 65 plus 8, it's 70. It's 73. So we have 6 into 73. Okay, so now the final answer will be 438. Okay, some of you will ask me how you got to that. This is, I think, a grade 6 mathematics. So it shouldn't be a problem to you guys. So 6 times 3, it's 18. Okay, 7 times 6, so you put a dot there. 7 times 6, it's 42. Then you add everything, you see 8, 1 plus 2, 3, 4 alone is 4. That's how we got to that number. Okay, cheers guys. If you have questions, please ask me questions. If you can comment, please comment. please like the video, send it to your friends, and subscribe to my channel. If you need my services, please reach me out on 07999 45460. Cheers guys, and have a nice